Michigan Tigers win as they run rule Northwestern State. And let me just tell you, as a former Southeastern Lion, I hate Northwestern State. I hope that they lose every single game that they ever play. Ever. Their girlfriends stink. Their mamas stink. Just saying. Just saying. Glad LSU was back or able to get back and against a really bad team. Let's call it what it is. But back on the warning track. Well, we will not discuss this at great length tonight. We'll talk about the game. We'll break down a little bit of Mississippi State. And we'll talk some football as well. LSU projected to win 9.5 games. What does that mean? What does it say for your LSU Tigers in football? Guys, with all due respect, you're less than 20 days away, and you are going to have football workouts starting in June. They will start in June. So I know we're in the heart of baseball season. However, I mean, football's right around the corner. It's right around the corner. So we'll touch on it. Trey Amos, who visited LSU last week, commits to Alabama. I will tell you why it's not that big of a deal. Would you like to have him? Yes. Is he a good corner? Probably. But you can beat him. We'll discuss that as well. Matt McMahon getting in the game when it comes to recruiting. We'll touch on a little bit of Matt McMahon getting some recruits in. Look, man, you can label somebody that they stink, but you better be careful now. You better be careful. A lot of people, are like, oh, yeah, whatever. We'll see. We'll see. Also, like we do every Tuesday and Thursday, hashtag Ask Blake, thoughts, questions, concerns. Fire them inside the Rooted Crew chat, and we will try to get to as many of them tonight as we can. Swamp Donkey starts it off tonight, says, I'm ready for LSU women's basketball. I'm with you. Jason on Facebook says, Ask Blake, can you hang some swimsuit pictures of Angel Reese and Olivia Dunn behind you? That's something that we haven't talked about. Which, what? I might actually go on a little bit of a rant. I've been calm. I've been cool. I've been collected. When it comes to NIL and LSU. Now, Garrett Nussmeier signed with Gordon McKernan today, which is a big deal. I mean, look, we got to have a conversation because I remember I'm old enough to remember that this time last year you had people out in the media screaming that LSU's behind. And let me quote, massively behind. Guys, Brian Kelly right now, he just finished with a top 5 recruiting class this last year as an example. Jay finished with the first. Kim Mulkey finished with the first. Oh, and by the way, Jay's class right now, who doesn't even have the commits that they're going to get in the next couple of months, weeks and months, they're not done there. They have a potential to be higher than that. Behind where, guys? Behind where? Something that we might need to talk about. I might talk about that here tonight. Holden Lee says, really like that Bucknam kid is bright. Future is bright with him and these young arms. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, he's been really good in the midweek. It's when Bucknam just had a really bad performance against South Carolina, which in his defense, Jay did not help him at all. Jay threw that Friday night game. You know it. I know it. I mean, let me be careful on how I say that, because if you say threw it, it makes you think like he did something betting wise. You know what I mean? I mean, guys, he did not. He kind of packed it in a little bit and let Bucknam go a long time. So you get what I'm saying there. Jay Johnson is not going to throw a game. But after that Ray delay and Skeens, he thought he could respond, and he did win on Saturday, so I guess it worked for him. And then LSU, maybe if they would come back on that Saturday and could have won it, who knows? Who knows? Ryan says, you get a bag, and you get a bag, NILSU. Yeah. Brandon, the exotic barber on YouTube, says, when do the rest of the freshmen enroll? ? It's a good question. It'll be in June. It'll be in June. I guess technically. Aaron Hornsby says, get ready for Mississippi State. I agree. We're not going to talk on this game long. I mean, what do you want me to say, really? You know? Mike Howard says, my daughter doesn't stink, and she graduated from there. Sorry, Mike. Sorry. I mean, it's just a rivalry thing. You know what I mean? I don't really think she stinks, but all the other ones do. Come on, man. It's a rivalry now. It's a rivalry. Jamie Brady says, thoughts on men's basketball. We will get into that here tonight. And Jacob Wiggins says, let's freaking go. He's right. You can't argue with him. You can't argue with Jacob Wiggins. I lied last one. Levi Ockman on YouTube says, any thoughts that LSU picking up more once school is done for some players? Possibly. Very possible. It's a good take. Very, very, very good take. Very good take. All right. Let's get things rolling. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share. Share to all of those social media groups. Share to all of those social media pages. If you're listening to us on YouTube, like, subscribe, and notification bell. If you're listening to us on SiriusXM, TuneIn app, wherever you listen to podcasts, everybody, stop what you're doing wherever you're listening. If you're on Twitter, hit that retweet. Doesn't matter. Like, subscribe, notification bell. We greatly appreciate all of you doing that for us. Let's talk about our good friends over at GM Varno & Sons and BetOnline.ag. Back really quick. Got a lot to discuss. Talk about it next. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag. With over 65 years of experience, nobody is better equipped to service in your vehicle than GM Varno & Sons. RV repair, big rig overhauls, motorhome chassis, routine maintenance, tire rotations, tire sales. No job is too big or too small over at GM. If you break down the side of the road in the greater Baton Rouge area, they will come and get you. And the best thing about that is that they can come and get you, and then they can bring your vehicle back to their shop and start the repairs right then. Again, GM Varno & Sons. Go see them over at 2500 Fuller Boulevard. Give them a call at 225-664-9992. 225-664-9992. Tell them your good friend Blake Ruffino sent you on by. Holden Lee says, you probably won't agree with me, but I'd like to see Blake Money get a start for Sunday, bro. I really like Hurt as well as the closer, just my opinion. I don't like that. I don't know. You're right. You were right. I know I do not like that at all. At all. Swamp Donkey says, Blake, do you think something feels a little off with LSU baseball? Like what? Like what? I mean, look, I am not going to spend a lot of time on this game. Guys, Northwestern stinks. Okay, they're not a good team. They're just not a good team. There's not a lot you could say. There are three things. I'm not going to go inning by inning like we normally do. There's a couple things that stood out. Thatcher Hurd is one of them, right? Not in real trouble in the first. He ends out the first with 2 Ks, okay? He comes back in the top of the 2. He gets 2 Ks. He strikes out the first guy, fly out to right field, and he ends the inning with a K. Comes into the third and gets a K, so he had 5 Ks and 2 1/3 inning. That stands out, man. I mean, it's just a really good performance, man. It's just a really good performance from him. And so, really and truthfully, if you want to continue to lump what's happened this weekend into this week, Thatcher Hurd being in there, Blake Money being in there, I know that Money gave up the home run. That can't happen, right? So I know a lot of us are trying to look for the Sunday starter. Blake Money cannot. Look, let him ride through the midweek. Let him ride through the midweek. Maybe he can come in some relief. He came in some relief against Alabama. I think you got to give the ball Sunday to Thatcher Hurd. And I think that he has bounced back. He's earned it. You got to give him the bump back. You got to give him the ball back on Thursday. On Sunday. I don't think you have a choice. I really don't think that LSU has a choice. Who else do you plan on putting there? Now, what do you do with Christian Little? I think is a question. You know, are you going to let Christian Little sit for a week? You know, is he not going to throw it all this upcoming weekend? He didn't throw tonight. What do you do with him? I don't know. I just don't know. But for me, you got to let Thatcher Hurd go out there this Sunday and let it rip. You know what, man? If he has a bad performance, so be it. He's had 4 straight performances where he's done very well. With that being said, I don't know if there's a real right answer. You know, I just don't think that there's a right answer when you get to a point where you sit here and ask who it should be. I don't think there's a right one. I think that there's one that people lead up on. You know, I think that there's one that leads up on that Thatcher Hurd needs to be there on Sunday. Nevertheless, I think he's earned it. I just really do think that he's earned it. You struggled this weekend against Auburn, and look, I will say what it is. Regardless of what you think about LSU right now, regardless of what you think about South Carolina, regardless of what you think about anybody, Auburn arguably you could say is one of, if not the hottest teams in the SEC right now. They've won 3 straight series, and 2 of them coming against 2 top 3 teams in LSU and South Carolina. I don't really care where you rank South Carolina and LSU for that matter. So you have Auburn that's just playing really well right now. You come out and you respond against an inferior opponent and do exactly what you need to do. Tommy Tanks continues to be not from this planet. You know, look, I mean, I know that you didn't hit a lot this weekend. Tommy Tanks did. God dang it. Why do I keep dropping my damn pen? So you responded, you beat an inferior opponent. One thing that's continued to stand out for me too as well is Hayden Travinski. I'm not saying don't play Milazzo or not start Milazzo, but man, speaking of a guy that's earned it, I know the balls get past him. He just continues to put really good performances together, man. Really, really good performances together. I'm not saying that he needs to be your outright starter. here. But because Milazzo's done so many good things. Milazzo was massive this weekend, catching and being behind the plate with some erratic pitching. I don't know how Travinski would have done in that situation, but I just think that Travinski's earned his way into this starting lineup. Guys, he's hitting above 400, and he's been hot. He sees a lot of pitches, like he went 0-3 the other night, but of every guy that was at the plate, he saw the most pitches, almost by double. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. There is something that's worrying me, though. There is something that's up my crawl, and I don't like it. And I don't like it one bit. You're gonna call me petty. You're gonna call me petty. Jordan Thompson's got to make that play a little bit. He's got a guy at first that doesn't play first. Guys, Braden Jobert doesn't even take reps at first. At practice. Doesn't even remotely take reps. You got to get the ball up, man. I'm not calling for Jordan Thompson's head, not even remotely close. Can we get a little bit more cleaner here? You got to just get a little cleaner. Ethan Fry. Come on, man. Come on. Like, I'm with you on the I'm with you when it comes to what these guys are doing in the field. I know Matt Trent was on with us last night, and he jumped down my throat about it. I get you. You can't keep having these petty ass errors either. I'm talking about petty. They cannot happen. They can't have it. Thompson, I'm kind of like, okay, you're playing in an unnormal situation, but here's a problem that I have in when I mean by cleaning it up. Guys, how does a slow roller go to Gavin Dugas early in the game, and he's not even attempting, like he's having to sprint because he forgot that you could roll two there. Clean it up, man. Clean it up. Is he fine? Yes. Is he even remotely close to getting pulled? Absolutely not. It's not going to happen. I think you get what I'm saying. He just got to clean it up a little bit. Got our guy in here, though, from the Spurs Up show. Says, what's up, guys? Can't wait to watch some ball in Hoover a few weeks. I agree with you, buddy. I agree with you. I would love to know what Dylan Cruz, his stat line is over the last week. My man's hit a little bit of a slump. He's still hitting 450. That's ridiculous. Guys, you can have the worst week of your life, and Dylan Cruz is still hitting 450. Right? So, for what it's worth, you go into play Mississippi State this upcoming weekend. You got to go impose your will again. I kind of want to see you play a little pissed off. I want to see a little bit more focus. You're coming off a series where you have a team that relatively shut you down at the plate. Mississippi State is not good. They are not a good baseball team. You should, if you are, look, anything can happen. Let's preface this. Anything can happen in baseball. Anything can happen in baseball. You just don't ever know. But you got to go out there and try to go for the jugular, man. You got to go for the jugular. You got to get this sweep. You're a half game behind Arkansas, and really that's not your fault. You know, if it were me and these teams, and LSU was a half game behind Arkansas at the end of the year, I would make both of them play each other. Call me petty. I'd make them play. I want that West title. I'd make them play. It's not LSU's fault the rain was Rudy Poo in South Carolina, or was Rudy Poo in South Carolina. It's not their fault. So you have the ability to get 6 SEC wins starting Friday. Go impose your will. Look, we're going to talk a lot about Mississippi State tomorrow. You can say whatever you like. On the mound, I'm with you. They are horrendous. But they compare a lot to Ole Miss. Now, I'm old enough to remember that there were times during some of those games against Ole Miss you're a little bit stressed. Game 1, Furness comes up, hits a home run. Skeens comes back down and delivers. And then game 3, if it's not for Hayden Travinski, you're not sweeping that series. You're a Hayden Travinski home run away from not sweeping. Mississippi State beat Ole Miss this year pretty handily when it comes down to it. I think 3 out of 1 because they play that midweek, for like the egg. By the way, what does an egg have to do with Mississippi? Maybe because they got chicken heads? Bark, bark, chicken head. Bark, bark, chicken head. Maybe. I mean, what's the correlation? What is the correlation between eggs and Mississippi? The Egg Bowl. I don't know. Maybe I'm just tripping. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share. Roderick Dugas says he hitting 450 is freaking amazing. That's that Dugas blood. Well, it's not Gavin Dugas that's hitting 450, Roderick. It's Cruz that's still hitting 450. Zach, do you know what Dylan Cruz's stat line is over the last week? If you don't, it's okay. Is he like 2 for 14? It's not good. It's not good at all. I was just wondering if anybody knew what his stat line is. Doug No says it's 4 of 20-something. Maybe it is. He's hitting sub 200, if not worse. He's in a slump. You know what's crazy? He ain't going to be in a slump for the rest of the year. So, might be good that it's happening now because then maybe he can make a run back to 500. Who knows? So, we'll talk a lot of Mississippi State tomorrow, as I mentioned. It is what it is. All right. Let's transition, though, to a little bit of this. I got a lot I do need to talk about. Somebody brought this up to me earlier inside the chat. Now, I've been kind of waiting for somebody in here to mention it. And I know that some of you have, but it hadn't really been the right time. I feel like tonight's the right time to talk about it. So, Libby Dunn and Angel Reese are on the covers of Sports Illustrated. Both in bikinis. Both look just wow. And I'm not saying that because I'm a male. You get what I'm saying. It's a big deal that 2 LSU athletes are on the cover of Sports Illustrated. You know that it's a big deal. I know that it's a big deal. The 3 alleged top earners in NIL per on 3, which how they can know, I have no idea. They don't know. It's an evaluation. They do not know. But they claim that LSU has the top 3 athletes. So if we're going to go based off of their evaluation, let me just throw this out here. As, by the way, Garrett Nussmeier signed with Gordon McKernan today in an NIL deal. I'm old enough to remember. I'm old enough to remember about this time last year that a lot of people were talking pretty negatively about LSU and recruiting. Like pretty massively, man. Like it was kind of getting out there that people were saying Brian Kelly was lazy and that people are lazy and don't want to spend any money and yada, 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 yada. Yeah, that never really happened. And I know that it's something that we talked about here, but sometimes you got to get your ducks in a row before you just start throwing money at the wall and end up like Jimbo. It is ironic to me It is just so ironic to me that a year ago we sat here and had arguments and debates and had people, which, not to rehash it, all of it pretty much started with me getting into it with a media member in reference to NIL and it just being false. Like, guys, you cannot believe everything you hear, because how many times, and I'm not trying to tell you told you so, but how many times is negativity about Orgeron, Kelly, NIL? How many times do those things get thrown out there on a day in, day out basis? A day in, day out basis around LSU, only for On3 to come out here and say that Livy Dunn, Angel Reese, and Flaugier are the 3 highest earning NIL earners in college right now. Oh, and by the way, Haley Van Lith is number 5. It is just very difficult for me to sit here and say, why aren't we talking about this? Since we made such a big deal about it a year ago, why aren't we making a big deal about it now? Well, I know why. Because a lot of people's takes would be wrong. A lot of people would get their feelings hurt. Guys, Brian Kelly had 2 top 5 classes, technically, because he came in here for Orgeron. He technically would have a top 5 class. He had to put a lot of things together. He had a top 5 class again this year. Oh, and by the way, they're number 5 again right now, depending on the service that you look at. What sport do you remotely think that they're behind? And if you think that they're behind, there are kids in baseball that LSU may be backing up the Brinks truck for. And you're not going to say a word about it. You're not going to say a word about it when that kid hits the campus. You're not going to complain about NIL one iota. Not one iota. So as Angel Reese and Livy Dunn are on the covers of Sports Illustrated, I'm sure Zach, subscribed to Sports Illustrated this week. Horny ass. He's giving us a thumbs up, I think. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. You have issues, man. You have issues. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. It's honestly crazy to me. So whoever brought up that question earlier, whoever brought me in that's my thoughts of it. That is my exact thoughts about what it is in reference to NIL, man. It's wild. And there are so many things that could be said here. Like, guys, Brian Kelly said that he had a plan. And his plan was, I'm going to take care of the guys that are on this campus. Then we'll go out and talk to people about it. And it looks like that's what's happening. It's also why you kind of see players not hitting the portal after spring. And LSU just there has not been a portal window post spring that players have not hit the portal in. It literally has not happened. It's happened every single year. Why now? Why aren't kids leaving Brian Kelly now? Your backup quarterback signing a NIL deal with Gordon McKernan. Meanwhile, Brian Kelly came out today and said, I'm not running the 2 quarterback system. When I've said it before and I'll say it again, and I was beating the drum a year ago about, please go look up what if we did a show a year ago? I guarantee you NIL jokes or rants were being told about it. Here you go, man. Here you go. And LSU just still seems to be on that front. Matt says, I hope everyone was rooting my son on. Matt, who was your son, buddy? Oh. Matt Dees said he got $75 for getting the bag. Was he the young man tonight that ran and got the bag? He had a green Wildcats shirt on. Was that your son? Was that your son, the little green shirt? How cool is that, man? He said the fourth inning, he ran and got the bag. How about that? He did it barefoot, too. Yeah, barefoot. That's what Matt did. Yeah, barefoot. Producer Zach said that kid got wheels. Yeah, he's probably faster than you, Zach. He's probably faster than you. You're slow, buddy. You're actually pretty slow, to be honest with you. I've seen you run. You're kind of slow. You know what's kind of crazy? As a former collegiate athlete myself, I think that I'm faster than you. I'm pretty sure that I could beat you in a race. Zach, what's you running a 40? Zach, what are you running a 40? Go. What are you running a 40?
I haven't timed my 40, but I know I'm fast.
What would you think that you would get in a 40? You're not getting in the fours. You're not getting in the fours.
High fours. High fours.
You're not getting in the fours. What I think needs to happen during the summer, producer Zach, show of hands, or show of thumbs. Hit a thumbs up if in the chat, if you believe that we should time producer Zach in the 40. And I know I am not running it. I have a bad knee. I have a medical waiver. That's the most white thing I've said all show. Do you believe we should time producer Zach running a 40? Uh-oh, Zach. They're coming in hot, man. They want to see you run the 40. I mean, Ryan is really wanting you to run the 40. Everybody wants you to do it, man. Everybody wants you to do it. Father Aber says, thumbs up, but I want in on this race. Okay. Zach, well, you know what? It'll be the Catholics versus the Baptists. The Catholics versus the Baptists. Zach, I'm going to be honest with you. I got the Baptists in this one. I got the Catholics in this one. I got the Catholics. You can't beat a father. He got like holy water hits him every day. You can't happen. It can't happen. Just won't happen. He says confident he gets under 5. We'll see. Maybe Zach, you know what you run? A forever. He ain't running no 4.6. He is not running a 4.6. He is not running a 4.6. It's not happening. I will cheat if he ran a 4.6. I will hit the clock beforehand. Maybe we can do it on Laser Time. Who knows? All right. I do want to get to this. I do want to get to this. Did y'all see this today? Or actually, it wasn't today. I think it was last week. But it kind of just had a lot of people bringing it up today. So a lot of casinos or DraftKings, BetOnline, whatever, a lot of betting services are coming with their over-unders for wins in the SEC. I think they did the Big 12. I'm sure they'll do the ACC pack here soon if they haven't already done it. Some of these were already in there, and you could have placed some of these bets. But right now, the SEC win totals have come out, or over-unders have come out. Let me project that. So per DraftKings in this specific one, here is what They have. Georgia over under 11.5 wins. Alabama over under 10.5 wins. Tennessee and LSU over under 9.5. Ole Miss, Arkansas, A&M at 7.5. South Carolina, Kentucky, Missouri, Mississippi State, Auburn at 6.5. Here's one that's really shocking. Florida at 5.5 and Vanderbilt at 3.5. You know what's interesting, man? And I know that a lot of people probably won't take a lot of stock into the over-unders that you see. I'm kind of with you. But they're not wrong a lot. I do like where LSU sits in that 9.5, and I do like the over there, to be real with you, for a full season. I don't think LSU got worse. Where did they get worse? Where did LSU get worse on this team? I cannot find it. So if LSU had 10 wins a season ago, why am I supposed to sit here and ask myself the general question of why do I think they're not going to get to 10 this year? They could start off hot and beat Florida State, which if they do that, guys, they're going to win. Not only are they going to win 10 games, they're going to more than likely win 10 games in the regular season before they even get to a bowl or playoff. You got some tough games in there. I'm not going to write off Alabama, but like I told you, Florida State scares me more than they do. I like where LSU sits. Now, some people can make the argument that LSU got worse at defensive back, and that's why you went after a guy like Trey Amos, who was at ULL, then now today transferred to Alabama. I thought LSU set in a good spot per what he had not only told us but our team, but it's what he said. He made a visit, and then, Alabama came in, and Nick Saban did what he had to do. But I just don't think LSU got worse at any position. I think they've gotten better at all three phases of the game. I know a lot of people are anxious about what's going to happen with special teams, but special teams don't worry me, man. Like, I think that they're going to get that fixed. Brian Kelly is too good and too smart to even remotely allow LSU to have another season being that bad in special teams. Because if he is, he's going to really hear it. I just don't think that they will be. You've gotten better along the offensive line. You've gotten better at receiver. You've gotten better at running back. Maybe you even add an addition at running back. Now you got some of these freshmen coming in. Holly has already been here. You got Shelton Sampson that's about to hit campus. You got Tyree Adams and Mason Lunsford and others that are about to hit campus, along with the big man and Lance Hurd. You've got a lot of great pieces defensively that are coming in. Deshaun Womack's going to get cleared and start working out and things like that. And then here you sit. I think LSU got better at linebacker. I think LSU got better defensive line. Maybe you could make the argument safety is still a concern, DB maybe. But, guys, LSU last season was 32nd in the country in yards allowed through the air. That's not that bad. And they got some serious talent at corner if they could put it all together. So LSU sits here at 9.5 wins. I do like that over because I do think LSU is going to win the West. I could be wrong. But what has Alabama done? What has Trey Amos going to Alabama and committing to Alabama today does not even remotely change for me LSU winning the West. I think that you're the team to beat right now. There's nothing that this offseason that's happened this offseason that would make me think otherwise. Tyler Buckner and Tommy Rees don't scare me. They don't. Kevin Steele doesn't really scare me. Now, he's had some really good performances against LSU in the past. 2019 being the last time that he really took it to LSU. I think it's a good bet to go over. I think your depth is ridiculous. I think once we get out to fall camp and you see the depth along the defensive line, offensive line, running back, receivers, DBs, linebacker, we're going to sit here and ask ourselves a serious question. The very serious question, like, man, are we really and truly that back? Like, national contending every single year back, not just winning the West, like national contending. Now, I pause with this, and let me be cautious. I pause with this because as much as we know that's coming back, we do have question marks now. How is Harold Perkins going to play on the inside? How does Omar Spates look? What do you do with Greg Penn? Can you get, like, how does Mason Smith look now that he's coming back from an ACL? I mean, Mekhi Wingo's been a little banged up. Can you get Deshaun Womack up to speed? Can you get a predominant pass rush now that BJ Ojulari has left the building? Like, and I'm not talking about on third down. You're going to need to get a pass rush on first and second down too. And you got some talent on the back end. Look, can Sage Ryan finally put it all together? Denver Harris, can he stay out of trouble? And can he put it all together? Those are the questions that we have to get answered. But if you're going to make the argument for me right now, LSU 9.5, I'm with it. I'm so with it. You know what else kind of surprises me? You know what else kind of surprises me? As I sit here and look at it. Man, what's going on in Florida? 5.5. You know, I've been saying for a long time, I know a lot of you have as well, what's going on at Florida? See, when you have these, and I should have said this about LSU, I might come out here and tell you I think LSU gets 10 wins. So does Vegas. I might be biased about LSU. Vegas isn't. Sorry. That's some good water. So good. Let me say this. If Billy Napier goes 5-7 next year, he's fired. Right? Like, what y'all think in the comments? Answer me this question. If Billy Napier goes 5-7 next year in Gainesville, is he fired? Is he fired? Is Corey Raymond looking for a new job? Is Corey Raymond looking for a new job? Man, I just cannot see. I cannot see Florida going 5-7 next year and him not being gone. I mean, let me know what y'all think. I mean, Ryan Smith says, yeah. Kevin says he gone. He's got to be, man. He's got to be. I mean, because Florida is just too damn prideful. Too damn prideful. And look, I know a lot of you hate Florida. I don't like them bastards either. I don't like those bastards either. But they're good. When Florida's right, they're right now. You know that, and I know that. They're a tough team if they can get some things right. I just don't know if Graham Mertz and Billy Napier is the duo that, man, 5.5? How far has Florida really fallen? Are they one of the worst teams in the SEC? I mean, guys, their win projected total is legitimately one above Vandy, which, by the way, Vandy is at 3.5, and I've already bet that over. Like, I went to Bet Online and bet that over. Okay? I did it last year. Vandy's winning over 3.5. They're winning over 3.5. They did it last year. And you know who else they beat last year? Florida. Now, I don't know if Vandy can beat Florida this year in Ben Hill Griffin. I don't know if they can beat them this year in Ben Hill Griffin. It will be interesting to see if they can. Is Florida arguably the worst team in the SEC? Man. Couple more of these. I don't know what to make of the South Carolina one. I mean, they went 8-5 last year. They had a good run at the end. Maybe 6.5 feels good. Here's something that's interesting. A&M 7.5 wins. They sit there like clockwork. Don't they? Texas 8-4. Look, man, I'm just telling you. And really and truthfully, LSU fans, we don't really have any business saying that this can happen. Look, we talked about this during the A&M week all week. I had 4 guests on that week. So the week that LSU, and Zach can remember this, the week that LSU played A&M, I got ripped alive by not ripped alive, but I got arguments, and some of the people in the comments ripped me alive saying, you better not sleep on A&M. You better not sleep on A&M. You better not sleep on A&M. The interesting thing about A&M, do I think that they're going to win the SEC West? Hell no. I do think they can go 8-4. Are you one of those 8 wins? Now, what's interesting, LSU just doesn't lose to A&M at home. They just don't. Like, LSU just does not lose to A&M at home. LSU's winning that game. But A&M's got some dudes now. Don't sleep on them. I will tell you this. If they can get to that 8-win mark, they can get to 9 wins with a bowl win. Look, Carter came on the show. And we talk about this stat all the time, right? Like teams that play back-to-back games. LSU is one of them. LSU's got back-to-back road game in the SEC, and so does Alabama. That second road game that Alabama plays on the road this year, guess where they go? Isn't it? Yeah, they go to A&M. I'm just going off of memory. Y'all can bean count me in the chat. They go to A&M, if I'm not mistaken. So, look, I don't like Jimbo's offense. Can Petrino do something? Look, we'll see. 7.5. A lot of people going to bet that under, man. A lot of people going to bet that under. That's exactly what they want you to do. It's exactly what they want you to do. Be careful with that one. All right, last one. One that I just don't necessarily understand. So really 2. Tennessee sits at 9.5, maybe. I just don't know how sold I am on Joe Milton. And I don't know how sold I am on Alabama at 10.5. Now, there's 2 thoughts that when I saw these numbers that came to my mind. Number 1, 10.5 for Alabama. It would be the first time in a really, really, really long time that Saban doesn't have 11 wins in a season. I just don't know if I can. Y'all tell me this in the chat. Do you see Alabama above 10.5 wins in the season? So they had back-to-back years of 11 wins, 11-plus wins with Bryce Young, and they went 11-2 and 12-2. Their replacement for that is Tyler Buckner. Now, are you going to sit here and tell me that Tyler Buckner against Tennessee, against LSU, against A&M, against whoever is going to outduel some of these teams? Like is that where we're at? I understand why Alabama is at 10.5. At some point, you got to let Saban have the fall and say, well, he didn't get good over 10.5. I don't know. Maybe you could tell me in the chat. I just don't see it. I just don't. I could easily, man, and I will run this back. I will take all of this back if I have to. I just don't know right now. I just don't know. History will tell me that Alabama's going to win 11 games this upcoming season. That roster just doesn't. In no specific order, the quarterbacks that Alabama have to play, do you believe that Tyler Buckner on any given week, and heck, we can even pull up their schedule, I guess. I guess we could just pull up their schedule. Alabama football. Oh, shoot. Alabama football schedule. Let's look at this. So, do we really think Middle Tennessee? Yeah, win. So, Tyler Buckner or Milroe would have to outdo Quinn Ewers, Sanders or Jackson Dart, Will Rogers, at Texas A&M, Connor Weigman, KJ Jefferson, Tennessee, LSU, Kentucky. So KJ Jefferson, Joe Milton, Jaden Daniels, Leary at Kentucky, and then Peyton Thorne that starts at Auburn. Mississippi State, and I think that Mississippi State starts it all for Alabama. I think that they obviously beat Mississippi State in Starkville. I think that game in Bryan College Station might be a little bit of a toss-up because we've seen the statistics of teams that go on back-to-back road games. The only teams that have done it since 2000 are last year's Georgia team and LSU in 19. Alabama's got a little bit of a stretch, and I know one of these weeks is a bye week. It's tough on them. A&M, Arkansas, Tennessee, LSU. That's not an easy stretch, man. It's just not an easy stretch. Call me crazy. Hey, I just met you. This is crazy. Here's my number. Call me maybe. Maybe. But what do I know? All right, let's do this. Let's talk about a good friend, Carol Foss over at State Farm. That's my man, Carol Foss over at State Farm. We are back in 44 seconds. Stay tuned. We got a lot more LSU stuff we got to talk about. Guys, you might know my good friend Carol Foss and all the great service that he provides over at State Farm. He is your good neighbor after all. But did you know State Farm has surprisingly great rates as well? Along with the great neighbor service, State Farm agent Carol Foss has surprisingly great rates for everyone inside the state of Louisiana. So call him today at 985-395-4300, 985-395-4300 for all of those surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to the State Farm underwriting requirements. McMahon is in the news. in case you missed it. So listen. Okay. I know what you're going to say. Blake, calm down. Relax. Don't do it to yourself. I'm going to do it to myself. Yesterday, George Washington grad transfer and a kid from Mandeville, Louisiana, Hunter Dean, 6'10", 235, forward, has committed to LSU. You start looking down this LSU basketball, I don't know if I want to say roster, but just maybe some guys that they have brought in. I don't know if they're going to be as bad as they were a season ago. Now, LSU was easily the worst team in the SEC, maybe, and especially a team that we had seen in quite some time. But I just don't know if LSU, basketball-wise, is going to be that bad again. Now, they could surprise me. They could legitimately surprise me when it comes to some of the things. But here's where they're at, okay? I'm trying to pull this up. I don't know why it continues to cut me out. But they signed they got a commitment from Devin Pryor today, a forward from Houston, Texas. They go and get him. Look, I just, for what it's worth, I think he's getting some good pieces in here. I think that you got to give him some time and he will be able to do some decent things. I think he'll be able to do some decent things. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just naive. Maybe I want Matt McMahon to succeed. He's got some decent transfers in here. You got Jalen Lee that comes back. You got your boy from Vandy that comes back. We'll have to wait and see. But it's not as if that they're not getting pieces to come in here. Now, you would like to see him recruit at a better and higher level. I mean, can it be worse? Yes. Can it be worse? Yeah. Do I really feel like it's going to be? I really don't. So Matt McMahon's turned some heads and he's made some, okay, Matt McMahon, we'll see. And I see this from Doug Knows. He says, Matt McMahon going to be around to coach him. I just want him to succeed, man. It just sucks. It just sucks. It sucks for him. And we'll see. We'll see. All right. Did we get to everything? Did I get to everything that we were wanting to get to? Amos, McMahon. Yeah. I guess we did. We can cut it a little bit short. Until tomorrow, guys. We'll see y'all soon. It's getting kind of late. We'll call it. All right. See y'all tomorrow, guys. Peace.